Welcome, everybody, and thank you for the ones that are joining me early. I hope everything is going good. I'm just double checking all the systems to make sure that we're a go. I hope that you all can hear me well. I did some checking on my sound. Earlier today, it seemed to be running good, so let me know. And if you have any questions, like the thumbnail and the title says, answers, or let's answer, or throw out any question that you have, and I'll try my best to answer it. And thank you for joining me. And don't forget to say hi and let me know your questions. So, as the title says, so now you got your van, or you maybe have found that vehicle that you really want, and now, what are the things that you want to do with that vehicle? And here's my thing. Hopefully, before you buy it, you settle on that price tag. I hope that you have a mechanic or you have a friend that is willing to come and look at the vehicle. You can educate yourself to the best you can if you're not mechanically inclined, which is fine. Not everybody is going to understand mechanicals, but there is a lot of things that even if you're not mechanically inclined, you still can educate yourself. You can look at simple things like tires. You can look at the underbody, see if it's been, is it full of rust? Because the last thing you want to do is put a $10,000 or $5,000 in the inside of your build and it fall through the floor. So these are the things that you need to look at. Other things that you can look at the CV half shafts. You can look and see if there's any fluids leaking, any oil, transmission, coolant fluid, any of that leaking, brake fluids. You don't want to drive it off the person's property and have a brake line and no brakes. And you can look at the brake lines and you can see whether they're pretty rusted. And if they're pretty rusted, it's going to be a priority when you buy the van to get them fixed, because you need brakes, obviously. And then, look at the CV half joints. They have rubber boots around them. You're not going to be able to tell 100% if they're good. They do make noises if they're really bad, or if the boot is bad, you'll see gear oil gooing out of it. And that's a big warning sign. These are problems that just a normal eye can look at. You don't have to be an expert, but if there's fluid leaking, you got problems. So when you are buying that vehicle, you want to do that, or there are lots of places that will do an estimate. If you explain to them you're going to buy this vehicle, mechanics are willing to offer their advice on it. They can tell you, they've got experience. They'll tell you that it's going to be a money pit. Stay away from it. Or maybe you got that friend that can look at it if you're not mechanically inclined. But if you're going on the road with your vehicle, you really need to become somewhat knowledgeable. For one, if you break down, maybe you can fix it, save you some money. Two, if you somewhat know about your vehicle, you're going to be less likely to be taken advantage. And I'm not saying every mechanic is going to take and rip you off, but I guarantee you there's always a bad apple in every career. It doesn't matter what field it is. So just education is the top. And I know in last week in my live, we went over some of the ways to educate yourself on what kind of price, what kind of value, what are the reviews on the vehicles. So if you have not seen that video, make sure you go back into it. And when this stream is done, I'll put it up in the card up here. Actually, I think it's, no, over here. And I'll link that video to this one when this video is done. So make sure that you go ahead and watch that one. I gave you 2 websites to help you so you don't overpay for this vehicle. And second of all, give you some education of reviews on what other people are saying or what the experts have tested this vehicle for. So go back if you are curious about that or interested in buying a vehicle for taking it on the road. But back onto this one. Now, let's say you're not mechanically inclined, which I know there's a lot of people out there, and a lot of people say, I don't know anything about a vehicle at all. I don't like them. I don't like to get my hands dirty, or I don't understand the mechanicals. Okay, then take it to a mechanic. Well, what do I ask them? Great questions. And you'll want them to look at the engine. They can listen. There are some scopes that they can use. There are tests that they can do to pressurize the system. And some of these will cost and some of these won't. But if you're talking about moving in to live in your vehicle permanently, just like when you buy a sticks and bricks house, you do a homeowner's inspection. Get one done of your vehicle. There are a lot of people that will, a lot of mechanics that will do 25-point inspection or, and they'll run through and they'll look. Transmissions are going to be the hardest one because a lot of the newer vehicles are non-serviceable. So you don't have a dipstick. You can't pull that out and check it. Some do, some don't. I know that they are getting further and further away from that, and with the EVs, it's not even existent. So, you've got that. But if a mechanic will know how to test or how to check your transmission fluid if it's a non-serviceable one. Some of them do have ports. Same way with your rear end, your back axle, the one that goes all the way across from one wheel to the other. If it's a 2-wheel vehicle, then you can service that. And if that's leaking, you'll be able to see the fluid from there. So have the mechanics check the differential, which is the back part of in between your 2 wheels. It's like an axle, but it's called a differential back there. There's U-joints that go from the front of your vehicle to the back. There's like a long pipe, so to speak, I'm trying to put these in terms that anybody would look under. Oh, that looks like a tube, or that looks like a pipe. Well, at the end, they've got U-joints. Mechanics can look and see if there's some play into that. Have them look under for your suspension, your ball joints, your tie rod ends, your CV axles, your subframe. Your subframe holds your engine. If that's all rusted, your engine's going to drop to the floor. In some vehicles, you have a subframe, some you don't. Again, mechanics, stop at a repair shop, have them look this stuff over. You may not know the technical names, but you can ask them. Going back to pre-buying, if you have a mechanic look at some of these things before you buy it. Tires, CV half shafts, ball joints, tie rod ends, serpentine belts, or your drive belt. Them are very, very important. If a belt goes bad, you're not moving. It's not going anywhere. You're done. So, and belts are something really anybody can look at. And let's see if I can share my screen. And I want to show you, I just snapped a picture of a belt to just show you guys what a serpentine belt looks like. And let's see. I don't know if I can. Nope. Let's see if I can share this. Uh-oh. That didn't work. Alright. Well, I can't share my screen. I thought I could. So, let me see if I can. Bear with me 1 second. Let me see if I can. Nope, it doesn't look like. Alright, well, I'm sorry. I thought I could share it. I did it in the test, but it didn't come through. Basically, just think of, the belts that you put on your pants. And then there's ribs. And they're little bumps. And then they've got grooves into them. Well, all the way around that groove is all the way around the belt. And in between them, if you take it and you see where the grooves are, so the grooves are going this way, and you start seeing cracks going this way, that needs to be replaced. And again, that's a detrimental thing that can have a big problem with you driving down the road. And in some vehicles, it's a simple fix, and in some other ones, there's not a whole lot of room. So depending on that, that's something that you could simply, Google serpentine belt or drive belt and put in versus a bad one, or when's it recommended. Years ago, it was if you took an inch of that belt and there was cracks going the opposite way of the grooves, if there was, I think it was 3 or more cracks by law, a mechanic shop had to replace that because it's that dangerous. But you can look at that yourself and say, well, I'm going to need to replace that belt. Belts are about $50 to $60, or sometimes they can be about $85. And if you don't have the tools to do it, you're going to have to pay somebody. I think the going rate for a mechanic shop now is 85 to 110, depending on where you're at. So that can help you drive down the price when you buy a used vehicle. So if you guys are here, you guys have any questions, let me know. I looking forward to your questions. And I appreciate you joining me and stopping by. And if you are here, say hi. Let me know you're here. So when you get the vehicle, you'll want to, so after you have the inspections done, you decide to buy the vehicle, what's your top priorities? Well, I would recommend oil changes. I would recommend doing your brakes. You know, maybe they were already done, but at least get them inspected. And then going back to the brake lines, if they're rusted, it's better to do them before you have one blow out at you, because it's not fun. I have had that happen, and it's a little scary when you go to put that brake pedal down and it goes all the way to the floor, and you're thinking that you're not gonna stop. So, and then, you know, obviously check the CV, you know, have a mechanic check the CV, half shafts, and the ball joints and the tie rods. If you're hearing any real high pitch humming, that's probably a hub assembly. And, you know, again, if that is really bad, that'll let loose and your tire will be taken off and you'll end up in a bad situation. So, and I'm not trying to be, you know, boo-hoo kind of person. I just want you guys to be educated. I want you guys to learn some things so that when you do buy that vehicle, or when you have a vehicle, whether, you know, some people buy trucks and they go out overlanding. That's great, but you're going to beat the crap out of that vehicle. So you're going to need some extra stuff with that. If you're just buying a van to live into it and travel around, you're still going to beat onto it because you're going to be driving miles and miles. So if you take care of some things up front, it'll be cheaper than when you're out in the middle of somewhere and that really expensive tow bill comes because you have to tow it to the nearest city, which is 100 miles away. I'm not saying it's not going to happen, even if you do, you know, pre-maintenance. But these are good things to do when you first start, because if you do the mechanical work up front before you go building out any way you want, which is the fun part, then you will save yourself a lot of headache, because you don't want to end up finding out that you need a new engine after you dumped about 500 to a couple thousand in this build. So that's what I mean, when I bought this van, the first thing I did was, I had crawled around it and checked it out, and I really, I know the engine. And hey, how are you doing? Thanks for stopping by. How's them kiddos doing? Not too bad. Well, I'm doing good. We had some technical issues in the beginning, but yeah, we're working through it. I'm glad you could make it. Kids are in bed. Oh, that's right. It's 10 o'clock over where you're at, huh? Yeah. Well, thanks for stopping. I know you're late night for you, but hang around. Let me know if you have any questions. And I'll, to get back to what we were just saying, we're talking about kind of summing it up about things to do prior to buying the vehicle, your van or your SUV or your car, whichever you choose to build out. And really diving into the mechanical parts of it. So going back to what I said, when I bought this van, I know the engine, I know the problems with it, which isn't really that much. And then I checked how rusty, and of course we bought it in Ohio, so they get snow just like us, and it was rusted, but it had 66,000 miles onto it, so I knew it had a lot of life left out of it. So oil changes are the best for the engine maintenance to do, because you don't know how long ago they did it. Even if they have a record, it's always kind of like when you buy your sticks and bricks house, you always want to paint the walls or clean it. You want to do the same thing with the engine. That way you know what kind of oil they put into it, and you're gonna start with that 3.5, or I think now they're even doing like 10,000 miles on an oil change in some, which I wouldn't recommend, but that kind of blows my mind that they said that you can do 10,000 miles on an oil change. But manufacturers do that. So then going through your brake lines, making sure all your fluids are up to snuff, maybe doing a coolant flush would be really good. Making sure that there's no contaminants in that would be another thing. If you've already had the mechanic service, look through it and they said, hey, you might want to think about doing, I hear a little squealing noise, so I think one of your pulleys are going to go. Get them done ahead of time. Get that new belt on. And then that's one less thing you have to worry about after, and then you can start building out the vehicle and, gutting it and doing whatever you want to do with it. So, let me check here. I have, all right. Sorry, I'm trying to make sure all of the systems are working properly. So, like I said, if you guys, hopefully you can hear the music in the background and you can hear me okay. I was getting ready. I'd already done all my testing on this live, and I imported some pictures and I could get that to work. And I accidentally pulled out my microphone and my camera from the screen. So, oops. And we had to redo everything. So, a little nerve-wracking, you know, right before you go live. But off that, because you guys didn't come here to hear about my little nerve-wracking situations. So after you have had most of your engine or suspension and transmissions checked out, then start drawing up plans. But my number one recommendation to everybody that's going to start building out a vehicle, go spend some time in that vehicle. Because what you think, maybe you want that refrigerator over here because you think it's going to be the best. Well, down the road, you may hate it there. So if you get into, you know, you live, I don't want to say live in it, but just throw a mattress in here, throw that refrigerator or that cooler in here, and figure out, okay, I'd prefer that refrigerator under the bed and I pull it out, or maybe down the road, like I started with a cooler in this thing and we were tucking it under the bed. Well, then we decided to get a refrigerator, and at first I thought about having it in the front 2 seats because, hey, I could pull a cold, refreshing drink out while I'm, you know, stopped at a red light. Yeah. Who wants a nice cold Mountain Dew while you're driving down the road? Sign me up. But then I realized that takes a lot of heat because that windshield in the summer, or if you chase the winter, or if you chase the summer warm weather like I do. By the way, announcement everybody, I have made an arrangement for my mom and dad to have a place. So I will be traveling down to Florida in a month. So you guys expect to see some Florida content again. And it'll be in a new city, which I'm really ecstatic about, you know, looking at all that. And let's see, what chats do we got going on here? I'm still here, but I'm cooking dinner at the same time. Woof! Eating at 10 o'clock at night. That's a late night. Yeah, after the live, I get to go eat dinner too, so. You know, it's what we gotta do. But, so yeah, we are going to, it's going to be interesting. It is going to end up being a cat in here. So we have not an older cat, it's like a 2-year-old cat. So still pretty kind of kittenish-y. And then my mom and dad, and then my partner will be with me. So it'll be 4 adults in this van with a cat. It's going to be a little close quarters, but we'll make do. And I'm super excited because I get to travel with my mom and dad. And my dad has been a huge traveler throughout me growing up. Probably why I love to travel. It's all his fault, right? We'll just put it there. Hello, Nomad Deluxe. Deluxe? How are you? Thanks for joining me. All right. Oh. And I'm still learning this software, so forgive me. I'm slow at this stuff, and I can't talk and push buttons at the same time, apparently. So, anyways, what I was saying, if you just jumped on here, Nomad, is I made the announcement that I'm actually traveling to Florida. I'm going to be chasing that warm weather this winter. I mean, it's already winter here. We've had a couple snow dustings. But after New Year's, we're hitting the road. And it'll be a new experience because I got to find room for a kitty litter. I've never traveled as a nomad with animals, so that's going to be interesting. So I will be doing some research on that because I'm not an expert on cats and vans, but there's lots of them out there. So back to the title. Now that I've made my big announcement that I get to get the heck out of Michigan for the cold weather, and so far it's been tolerable. So I'm excited that hopefully we'll get out of here before it really jumps on us. So you'll be seeing some content with some kitty and new additions to the van, I guess. And so if you guys have any questions, make sure you pop them in the text in the chat below, and I will try to answer them to the best of my knowledge or the best of my ability. And then going back to the topic that you guys are here for is what I was saying before the announcement was spend some time in the vehicle, get the layout. You know, I have just one side door that, you know, that swings, two doors open up, and then I have the two back doors. And originally we put a sink back here thinking we were going to cook outside all the time, and we were going to open the doors and pull this big table out, and we were going to do all the cooking there. Well, the problem with that is we like to boondock out in the middle of no man's land, big forests. Guess what comes with that? Lots of mosquitoes. So I had a sink back there. I had a big old board you could pull out. All of it. And all the mosquitoes come in here all night long, ate us up like crazy. So we had to rethink that one. So back to the drawing board. So you don't really want to build your first night owning the van. I mean, it's fun and, you know, drawing out all the plans, but really get the feel of what you do. And in my van build, my big dilemma is I use this van like crazy in all circumstances. We go out in the middle of nowhere. We go into cities. My partner works in bigger cities. And so we use this and we stealth camp in cities. So we will sometimes find loves and pilots to spend the night, or Cracker Barrels, but we don't like to use them all the time. So we will go and find residential areas or commercial areas that you can park on the side of the road, spend the night, get up, and he goes to work, and I do this. And then, so we do the boondocking, we do the city, we do campsites sometimes. We'll do lots of, like if you go back on my channel, I have, what's the word here? I have 3 or 4 videos that have, are about different state parks that you can camp in. And I think one summer we were over by Detroit for 4 months in the summer at a campsite over there. Don't get me wrong, campsites are nice. You got the hookups for water, and I don't have plumbing in here. I don't like black tanks. I will probably never have a black tank in any rig I ever own. I don't like to deal with them. So you do, that's you. And that's not me. So everything I do is non-black tank. So sewer hookup, it's not that important to me. Water hookup, not that important to me. I have containers that I fill up, and I use my water sparingly. But these things you have to take into account when you build your van out. You know, are you going to be in the winter? You know, originally when I first started building this van out and got pretty big into the build, I didn't think I would ever need a heater because I never planned on being in the winter here or anywhere where there was snow. I do not like the snow. I want to be out of it. So I didn't want a heater. I didn't want to carry extra fuel. I didn't want none of that. But then I needed to stay close to family members because health was declining. My dad's health is on a rocky road. And so I need to take care of him. And I need to be close to him. So last winter, I stayed in Michigan. And in Michigan, you need a heater because it can get to 0. And it can get to -0, -7, -10. Not very often, but it does happen. And you need heat. So now we've already got the van built out. Where are we going to put the heater? So, you know, you always, when you start building out, leave some leeway for some extras that you may not have thought about, or maybe you thought life was going to take you down one way and life takes you down the other way. And with that, you never know. So make sure you leave some room in there for add-ons. You know, you may be pretty set on how you use your vehicle, but you never know. So it's always nice to leave a little extra leeway. So yeah, I don't know. I'm in love with that word "so" today. I don't know. That's why I edit a lot of my videos, because my words don't flow so well yet. But I'm learning to get better on this camera. But I appreciate y'all being here. I appreciate the subscribers. You know, I have to kind of do a side note here, guys. But you know, I'm looking forward to 2024, and I'm trying to think of the best way to help you guys. And really, you guys have blown me away with, I've got 346 subscribers as of today. I am stoked that you all subscribe, y'all chat. I love the comments that you guys are leaving on my videos. I really appreciate you guys being here and sharing my videos. And I left the live stream last week and somebody started commenting on it, and that's what kind of sparked this one. So I listen to you guys, and I want to put more content on this channel to help you guys. So let me know in the comments what your questions are about van life. I have got a lot of community posts coming out in my channel, so make sure that if you are not subscribed, that you do subscribe so you can get them notifications. Some of them are just funny little things, and then there's some that are asking you, different things that you guys are interested in, so I can show you whether it's, how to make a bathroom, which if you guys need a bathroom in your vehicle, I have a video up there in my playlist. Go check that out. But, I'm trying to get better at this camera stuff, and I'm still a little nervous about being on camera, but it is what it is. We're going to laugh and have fun with it. So now that that's out of the way, going back to the topic, as if anybody has any questions, feel free to drop them in the comments below or over to the side, however it is for you, depending on where you're at or what device you're looking at. But I just recommend, don't set your build inconsistent, like in stone, for the first week that you're in your vehicle. Get to know the layout of the vehicle. Throw the mattress down, throw a bucket in here. See what really things are like. Maybe, after you've got it, you realize, oh my gosh, I need more insulation. I cannot sleep in a truck stop with the diesel engines running. Or maybe, you hear too much of the traffic. You might need to, do some more insulation or sound barrier. Traveling, welcome. Thanks for joining us. I'm glad you're here. I'm just talking about after you bought your first vehicle and kind of the layout of stuff. So if you have any questions or any comments, make sure that you leave it hang on one second. I need to do this. I just got my hang on, give me 1 second, guys. All right, so let's see. Got another comment. We might be Michigan. Oh, yes, Michigan. The M23. Yes, it's actually M24 for next year. I can't wait for that. Really looking forward to that. That was a blast. If any of you guys are into YouTube or like supporting YouTubers, we had this awesome meetup in this really nice campsite. I can't tell. I mean, it's gorgeous setup. And I met so many cool people. Yes, we did meet in Michigan meetup. Hopefully, we'll be doing Michigan 24. Will you be coming to Michigan 24? Oh, I know we met there, but I mean, will you be coming to, will you be coming back to Michigan Meetup 24? I'm bookmarking that, so hopefully, I think the reservations start in January. So, if you guys are up and around Michigan, come up to it. It's a fun time. Let's see. And you said 99% sure you'll be there. Awesome. Looking forward to it. Yeah, well, I've got it on my calendar in January to buy my spot and pay for it. So we're good. I'm looking forward to that. I'm looking forward to doing some more meetups. Trying to juggle that around taking care of my dad. So got to see where all that goes. I will be in Florida. I know Florida has a lot of meetups and a lot of meetups, but I don't know how that I won't be able to do any meetups in Florida. I might be able to pop in and whatnot, but I'm looking forward to some more meetups. That was really fun. All right, back to topic. Squirrel. Anyways, so I already talked about, living in your van for a little bit, checking over all the mechanicals, because you can fix anything building here. You can always tear out any of the building stuff that you've built, but it's really that anything that you do back here in the house section, it can be kind of live with, or you can fix it as you need, but mechanically really can put you in a bad spot. So if you get that taken care of prior to you heading out or you living in it full time, because once you live into it full time, who wants to be in a mechanic's repair shop living in it? Or sometimes they won't allow you because of how their quarters is. So that may not be an option. Then you have to do a hotel or Airbnb or something. And you don't want that when you're out and traveling. You like your bed. So doing some of this stuff ahead of time will help prevent some of that. Not deter you from, it won't stop at 100% because things just happen. I heard a saying the other day that you pretty much taking your vehicle as a tornado through it. So if you're building, it should be secure. But yeah, so making sure all that mechanical, the underneath, the suspension, the transmission, is all good and well taken care of, U-joints greased, and and talk to the mechanic and say, hey, what are some maintenance stuff that I need to do at what mile marker, so to speak, of mileage, with this vehicle. And they'll gladly tell you that because they know. They like to talk about mechanics. We gearheads love to talk about mechanics or mechanical things. So, but every vehicle and every year is different. Troy from Michigan, hi, how are you? I'm glad to see you here. I know that you had made some comments on some other videos of mine, so I appreciate that, and I'm glad you're here. And appreciate you stopping by and saying hi. We are coming up on the hour, so is anybody got any questions about the mechanical parts of the vehicle or the building part of it, or content that you want me to try to make in 2024? If not, I've pretty much covered what I was planning on trying to help you guys with. Let's see. Yes, I'm starting to watch your channel. Well, thank you so much. I really do appreciate that. And I don't know if you've seen what I was saying earlier, but I'm up to 347 subscribers, and that just blows my mind. I thank every one of you guys for subscribing and chatting. So then we got, Boomer, you were here early, like an hour early. Another M23 meetup person that I met at that meetup. I'm so glad that you got to stop back by. And you're here now. It's all good. Let's see. So you missed it, Boomer, but I'm still in Michigan. I am coming to Florida after the New Year's. And I'm coming to Florida. I don't know if I'll be able to do any meetups as I really want to, but I am bringing my dad. I know I'm getting out of Michigan after the new year. I am bringing my dad and my mom to Florida this year. So, yes, I'm excited about that. But they're renting. I found some people that rent out a house. So they will be living in a house, and I'll be driveway mooching. So, love it. Love it, love it. But, yeah, I'll be getting out of Michigan soon. Yeah, I mean, I might be able to do like a day or so, but where the city that they're at, I don't know if there are any meetups. So I'm going to be over on the West Coast. So yeah, we'll have to connect, Boomer, and we'll see if there's any meetups that I can just hop in and say hi and meet some new people. But yeah, I'm super excited. There's meetups in Central Florida. Yeah, I'm gonna be like an hour west of Ocala, I think, or somewhere right around there for the whole month, for a month and a half or so, I think. So yeah. And then what else are you saying, Boomer? Let's see, from the West Coast to the East Coast. Yep, I have to figure out how to find them. You know, all these things I'm learning. But yeah, so look forward to some content with some kitty cats, or a cat, because my dad's got to bring his cat. So we'll have a cat, my mom and my dad in this van. So yeah, it's going to be a fun time, and my mom and dad pretty much aren't big camera people, so they probably won't be on camera much. But yeah, it'll be an interesting time, and I can't wait to bring you guys some more sun and Florida stuff. All right, well, we're topping on the top of 6 o'clock here, and let's see, lots of chats going on here. Let me see if there's what you got here. Van Vest, love peace fans, schoolies forms. Yeah, definitely. Yeah, I will definitely look all that up. And again, anybody on my channel, if you're looking for some boomerang, boondocking with Boomerang, he's a good channel to go look at. All these people in my chat have YouTube channels, so go check them out. I'm horrible at doing this tagging thing, so I'm very sorry, guys. I know that you all have YouTube channels, so anybody that's looking at my channel, feel free to look at all these channels. I know that some of them are newer, like let's see, Doug, I know he's Doogly, he's new into the YouTube. He's putting out some content, so he's working hard at doing it. Make sure you go look him up. And Boomerang's got content like crazy on there. He does some interesting things, so go check him out. And I am sorry, trailer traveling, I don't know that I've actually seen a lot of your videos. I've kind of swamped into learning this live streaming, because this is my second or third live stream now, so I'm still learning some of the software. So thank you all for hopping on here. And Crazy Boomerang was actually here like an hour and a half before live streaming, early bird. And so yeah, let me know, and I hope to see you guys. Oh, look at Wolverine. There's a truck driver. They do lots of stuff on their channel too. That's okay. I'm actually getting ready to sign off, Wolverine. I've met you guys. It was awesome to have breakfast with you guys. And they have a truck driving channel where they put Legos together and do lives. She does a lot of lives, way more than me. So Yeah, what is traveling? Lance always shows up early in case there's snacks. Yeah, yeah, foodie. Yep. So, then again, hey, that's a good thing. All right. Well, if there is no more questions, we're gonna hop off here and yeah, 160 lives. Yeah, I'm on my third. This is my third. Well, technically my third, but my first one was complete flop. So, but gotta start somewhere. So this is my start, and with that, everybody, wherever you're at in the world, safe travels, and I hope to see you all down the road somewhere. Yeah, I know it'll get better. I totally agree. It will get easier. Good night to you. And Troy from Michigan says, have a great evening. Susie, thank you. Thank you. You guys have a good evening. And I'm going to go eat now. Sorry, Boomerang. I'm sure there's food, but yeah, you're a little far away. So I will see you all later. Safe travels. And thank you all for being here.